All right, folks. Well, we've been beset by bad weather the last few days, so kind of doing some projects at home, and it's going to keep raining for a few more days, so we can't do much welding outside. So we're going to go ahead and tackle this problem here, which is this beautiful switch panel, breaker panel. Those of you that have been with us for a long time probably remember the rat's nest that was behind this when we first got the boat in Juneau. We pretty much went through there and tore out everything and just rewired up the basics that we needed to get back to Kodiak. And now it's time to just go ahead and get this all tore out and redone. We're gonna just go ahead and just remove this whole piece of wood right here, because it's all just been mutilated and chopped up and everything other stuff that was in here before. We've got a piece of 3/4 inch plywood that used to be our fiberglass laminating table. We actually bought this thickness to match this, knowing that we just use it later. And so we got a piece cut out for that. Here's our new distribution panel. It's from BlueSeas. Not sponsored or affiliated, but good product. So this is pretty much get us what we need for probably the short and somewhat long term right now. So it's got a DC main cutoff, gauges for DC amps and volts, and then it's quite well populated already. The extra breakers that we have down there we can use in here. We actually bought them specifically for this. They're BlueSeas breakers down here, and we got them in the same color, so we just be able to reuse them. This should get us pretty well for everything. These are all backlit, which is really nice, and they've got a pretty good sticker set here. This little guy here is just a shunt. This is used to measure amperage. You can't just hook up an amp meter to a system like this, because it won't be able to handle the amount of amperage and measure it. So this just measures the amperage for you. So that's a shunt, it's called. So yeah, real nice unit anyways. So we're gonna go ahead and tear out this old one. We're gonna make probably an inset frame for this, similar to like this, I guess, kinda, and have our panel inset from the plywood, like so, if that were some plywood, I guess. The nice thing about that is that you won't bump this stuff, even where it is right now. You will bump these with your legs, so you'll turn something on inadvertently. And we're actually going to put this kind of up here in this corner, I think, and then inset, and then it'll be nice and safe, and the rest of this will just be painted again. Okay guys, well, the time has come to start dealing with this mess right here. Some of these leads are good that we've already redid when we traveled up from Juneau. For the most part though, we're just kind of starting over in here. I've already slipped the main breaker down below that sends the power from the battery. This is just all 12 volt DC right here. These are the gauges for the engine. These are going to get relocated up here, probably below this monitor, kind of at the same angle where you can actually see them from the helm, and not down here where you can't really see them very well. This fuel pressure line, we need to break that, and then we'll go ahead and we'll get this out of here.
Does fuel leak out of that, or like, how does that work?
Well, I mean, it would if you hooked it up, I guess.
Like if you fired up the engine?
Yeah.
It'd spray out?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But I don't think that anything should be up here, so I guess it just kind of works on air pressure in a way too. I don't really know much about how that gauge works. Okay, so give that a little snippy. Give these a little snip. And that's that. Yeah, these things are just, they're just ancient. There isn't a whole lot in here that we can save. Crack it here. Strong. I will say that. Boy, it's very strong.
Just throw your croissant on there and snap it off.
Probably gonna break this gauge.
I'm gonna grab the pair of pliers then.
It sounded destructive. This guy is just kind of corroded in there, so
yeah,
I guess they didn't need a bracket to hold it. Might just, at some point, I'm sure we'll just replace these gauges anyways, but for now,
yeah.
that's, well, it's oil pressure, but it's the fuel pressure. So, all right,
It's
well.
labeled fuel pressure.
There it is, folks. It's a beautiful sight. So yeah, you can switch between 3 battery banks on here. You got your DC main right at the top there, so that energizes the whole panel.
Yeah, so this is a 12 and a 24 volt, depending on how you want to configure it, huh? I see by the wiring labels here.
Yes, it is. Oh, of course, all your load side, your positive load side comes off of these here. This is the supply side for your, so your power comes in right here into your main DC cutoff switch. That's that red guy at the top. Comes into this bus. Down here you got a jumper that goes to the other bus, and so this is all your supply side for your circuit breakers, and then this will be your load side of all your positives, and then this is your negative bus bar on both sides. So it's well put together. And so we're thinking probably slightly inset somewhere right in here, and that's going to keep these from getting bumped if somebody's standing up here and you're rolling around. A lot of times you don't notice that you bump things. Let's see how we did here. Fits perfectly. I hammer it in there. So we got some curvature going here. Well, oh yeah, I guess we'll put the dirty side in. This side looks a little prettier. Just gonna get some paint anyways. Oh boy. So, I'm guessing that I didn't realize that there was a bit of a curve on this. And so, of course, I either measured one side and not the other, or something lame like that. What a shame.
Well, we could probably cheat it out of like some trim or something.
Oh, we still got a big chunk right there behind us, so
yeah,
we can easily make this into something, some shelving or whatever, so not the end of the world there. Well, my associate had the brilliant idea just using the old piece as a template, so that's what we did. Doesn't seem to be one right angle anywhere on that.
Nope. It's quite a custom fit.
Okay, that looks like just a little bit of fine fitment.
A little fine tuning. Should go right in.
Stuff just a little bit thicker than that other material, maybe. Oh no, it might just be that as like sticky. Oh, there's
Got a chunk of old stuff on there, huh?
chunky on there. Yeah. Okay. Well.
Cool. So just a little bit of shave off the bottom there too, huh?
Yeah.
And
how are we gonna hinge this too?
yeah, hinge.
I mean, like, it'd be nice just to like hinge it this way, I guess. That wouldn't be bad. Can't do much with it this way, can we?
I think it'll actually hit the wheel swinging that way, right?
Oh, yeah, good. And the only other way is up or down, but same thing, it's going to hit the wheel both ways, so
yeah.
It's like...
Well, I think just swing it this way because, like, you'll need to be going down below for the majority of whatever wire chase.
It'll probably be the most comfortable way to work on it, huh?
Yeah.
I guess. Well, so we'll go ahead and fine tune this a little bit. I think we'll probably just be looking at putting a piano hinge on the outside of this. It's, it just has to be functional.
Kind of reframed a little bit of the framing here. It was pretty loose and rickety, honestly. Got our other faceplate back in. There used to be a speaker right here. I went ahead and patched that up with a little plug. And aside from that, just a little decluttering on the dash. Took the screen off. We're gonna try and put the gauges probably in here somewhere. And meanwhile, Dad's been working on the panel inset. Right now he's doing a little screwing and gluing. Yep, got the Gorilla Glue out. That's the good stuff.
So when we built Top House for the fishtail, which has been like probably almost 20 years ago now. Well, it would be 20 years ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
We used that stuff. I don't think it was actually Gorilla Glue, but it was a polyurethane. It was just I don't think these guys made that at that time, or if they did, it wasn't here in our stores. But it was a polyurethane. It's the same stuff. Mm-hmm. And like we laminated like the basically what's the beams for the ceiling and a whole bunch of stuff in there.
Yeah.
And I don't think any of those bombs have failed.
Yeah, it's still holding up to this day.
So it's good stuff. It's better, I think, for wet environments. This works good for us. So
Little water activator. Well, a little brief time of carpentry here. Went from fiberglass to aluminum and now some woodwork.
yeah, this is kind of one that we've been putting off for a little while, so it'd be very nice to get this installed here and get to go on this panel.
Well, the harbor is certainly starting to wake up. Got some of the bigger guys over on C&D float gearing up for tendering. A few of these guys go out to the bay, Bristol Bay that is, for that salmon season. Got an Anna over here doing some halibut. All kinds of stuff going on. It's a nice day today. That's a nice looking boat. They take good care of it. Just the last few things to finish up. Way up there in the mast. You see our wooden platform there. And we had just a couple of the antenna mount brackets to weld back onto the mast.
It's like 5 minutes of welding.
Yeah. So we actually replaced our aft stay, got it back strung up. That was one of the side stays. So now it's nice and new. Well, newer, maybe, I don't know. Maybe not new, but you know what I mean. Probably do the same with the front one because that one is pretty darn rusty down low. Might just come up a hair short on it, but we'll just use some chain to make up the difference.
Okay, so next we'll just mark this on our other door, our door piece, and then we'll glue this to that. And probably hit the inside with the router, and then right here is where the panel bolts up. And we'll have a nice recessed panel. Shouldn't get bumped very easily.
That'll be really nice.
Which is good.
It'll be nice not worrying about those old breakers and stuff too. Yeah. Even though, like, I think probably 90% of the old ones weren't even hooked up. We just had like our water pump hooked up to them, and that was about it. But yeah, it'd be good to get that out of there. And it'll be much more accessible and serviceable. You guys haven't yet seen the hinge part of it, but it's pretty nice. You will soon. What you got there, pal?
Some new panel action.
That is smooth. Nice.
So just need a little cleanup on the inside. Just a little cleanup and around these corners. Maybe a little putty and some paint. We'll see. And this is the unit. Already populated a couple more of these. I think we have one more, I guess.
One more, yep.
One more, and gonna go pick up. I got a 30 amp in here, and I'm gonna go pick up probably a couple more larger amperage ones. Because all of these are actually kind of, well, 15 amp, but that's not really a whole lot DC for 12 volts. So, anyways, yeah. So, if this goes according to plan, this should just pop right in here. Like so. I gotta push down on that wire right there just a little bit. Look at that.
Hey,
wow.
That's nice.
Almost like we know what we're doing. Right?
Yeah.
Somewhere I got some black screws stashed around here. I've probably gone and lost them already. Thought I might have put, oh, they're in my box here, so don't throw away this box yet. Still got goodies in it.
Maybe a couple of the flaps to mock up a gauge panel.
You bet. Oh yeah, that's next, huh?
Yeah.
So yeah, if you remember, our gauges were here. No more. We're gonna get them put up here on the dash where they belong, where a guy can look at them and see them. And actually know if there's anything to be concerned about. That's one thing I didn't like about this, is the gauges being down here and everything, so snug those up a little bit. Wow, that looks nice.
That is really nice.
No more. Be pretty hard to bump those guys. I mean, you can do it, but it's gonna be pretty hard. So if you remember, all that other stuff was right here. It's a terrible spot. Actually, a good place to. I'm surprised none of those breakers ever got broken, to be honest with you.
That's true, yeah.
Because it's just a terrible spot to have something right there. You don't really pay attention to where your legs are most of the time, especially when you're rolling around on a boat. That's where you're bracing off of everything with your hips and your knees. And so you don't want anything important in that zone for sure. And right here helps with this overhang right here too. Okay, so let's see how it's gonna work here. Oh yeah, oh I love it, look at that. So we got nice easy access to everything on the back. We'll be able to bring our power in and all our leads, and the trick is that you bring them in on this corner down here, so then you can open and close it, and you just leave a little bit of slack right there. And you can bring them up. Got lots of material here to mount feeds to on both sides. That's gonna work out real good.
Yeah. Any fear of it fatiguing the wires down in that corner? Not
Down
really,
here?
because we
No.
don't really plan on opening it more than however many times. Not.
Yeah, if you just
closed.
kind of come down and you just leave a little bit of a loop, right, just a little bit. It doesn't need a lot of slack, but it's kind of like it doesn't do much, because you know, if you look at that with your hand, it's not really moving your hand much.
Right.
And so as long as it can slide a little bit, you're good. But yeah, this is going to be very, very nice to get in here and work on stuff. And somewhere in here we'll have to mount that shunt. So
That's pretty nice.
yeah. It's as easy as that. These pieces of plywood saw a lot of use over the last couple of years. All the fiberglass that was laid up on them and all the projects on that table. But yeah, nice to reuse them. That was the plan, and it worked out just right. So
Yeah. Well, we got our emergency battery mounted in place. This needs tightened a little bit more, but got a couple blocks on each side, so it shouldn't go anywhere in a adverse sea. So got the panel there. That same thing. I'm just gonna get some Bondo or something and fill up these holes.
Bondo.
Not gonna go too crazy on it, but at least get rid of some of the ugliness.
Go move that
yeah.
starter switch.
Get rid of it, yeah.
Yeah. We'll get a starter switch up here. Leave the other one down there, and then you can, at least in the morning, go down there and check the fluids and stuff and fire up down there if you want, but then the rest of the time it's not really necessary to check it every time you start the engine, but we do try and check our fluids every morning when we fire up. Is a good time to do it.
Yeah.
But I ain't going back and forth every time I gotta start the engine if we're doing rockfish.
Nope, that'll
tire me out.
That'd be like 3 times as much up and down as the fishtail.
Yeah, at least there it's only 3 steps, and they're an easy 3 steps.
Yeah.
These aren't quite as easy to get up and down.
Yep.
I mean, it's 3 just from the engine room up to the
That's
boat
true.
hole, and
Yeah.
then gotta climb out of the hole.
Yep. So definitely starting key up here. Switch. So yeah, right on.
I like it. I'm very happy with this.
I approve.
I do feel like I'm going to put a little guard on that though, so it doesn't get inadvertently bumped. I feel like this should have a guard on it, so if you go to flip this, because it does happen on our panel on the fishtail, sometimes you bump a switch when you're turning things on and off, and so that's kind of the last thing you want to do is like bump that and just have everything just go dark. So we'll put a little guard over that to where you can still toggle it if you need to, but it's protected otherwise. I might be able to use that one I've got a guard. It's actually for an interlock on the breakers. I'll take a look at home and see if that one can be used on there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, right on. Looks good.
Thumbs up, yeah?
Yeah.